Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to decode the system that the wealthy use to build their fortunes, and maybe even more importantly, how they legally shrink their tax bill down to almost nothing. All right, let's jump right in. First, we're going to completely shift how you think about the tax code. Then, we'll get into the key you need to unlock all its benefits, the engine that powers tax reduction, the fuel you need to get it started, and finally, how you can put all of this together into your own wealth-building system. Okay, first things first, we've got to challenge a really fundamental belief that most of us have about taxes. You know, most people see taxes as a pretty simple one-way street. You make money, and the government takes its cut. But what if I told you that's only half the story? According to the experts, that's not even the most important half. And this is where it gets really interesting. The tax code isn't just for collecting money. You see, it's also a set of rules, a giant instruction manual designed to encourage certain behaviors the government wants to see. Think about it. The government wants private citizens like you to provide housing for people. So how do they motivate you? They pack the tax code with huge benefits for real estate investors. It's really like a partnership. You help them solve the housing problem, and they give you a massive tax break. So, understanding that the tax code is basically a map of incentives, well, that's step one. Step two is getting the right key to unlock all those incentives. And you know what? That key is almost always a business. The go-to tool here is what's called a pass-through entity, and the most common one is an LLC. Now, this structure is absolutely critical because the business itself doesn't actually pay any income tax. Instead, the income, and more importantly, all the deductions, flow right through to you, the owner. And look, this is so much more than just some paperwork. An LLC acts like a legal shield, right? It protects your personal stuff, your house, your car, from any business trouble. But the real magic, the real power, is that it unlocks a completely different set of rules, allowing you to deduct all sorts of business expenses that a regular employee just can't touch. All right, so we've got the key, our business entity. Now it's time to look at the engine. And believe me, the most powerful engine for building wealth and cutting taxes written into the code is, without a doubt, real estate. To really get this, let's just walk through a quick example. Imagine you buy a rental property and the building itself, not the land, just the structure, is worth $1 million. Now get this, the government actually lets you deduct that entire $1 million value over time. It's done through a mechanism called depreciation. And here is the most important part, the magic trick you really need to understand. It's a paper loss. No actual money leaves your bank account for this expense. It's an expense that only exists on paper for tax purposes. And this just perfectly illustrates the entire strategy. You see, you have these two completely different realities happening at the exact same time. In the real world, your property's value is going up, and it's putting cash in your pocket every month from rent. But in the world of taxes, on paper, it's actually generating a giant loss. And that disconnect, that's the secret sauce that savvy investors use. Okay, so getting that deduction over a few decades is nice, but the pros, they don't like to wait. They use a really powerful tool to speed the whole thing up, called a cost segregation study. So what this study does basically is it breaks your property down into all its little component parts. The main structure, yeah, that still gets depreciated over 27.5 years. But all the other stuff, the carpeting, the appliances, light fixtures, all of that can be depreciated way faster. We're talking 5 to 15 years typically. So what's the result of all this? You get this massive paper loss right up front in the first few years you own the property. And here's the kicker. With certain strategies, especially involving short-term rentals, this loss isn't just a passive thing. You can use it to directly cancel out the income from your high-paying day job. I mean, potentially wiping out your tax bill completely. It's huge. Okay, but let's be real for a second. To buy big assets like real estate, You need cash, a lot of it. You need fuel for this engine we're building. And that brings us to what is without a doubt the most important first investment you can ever make. You know, when most of us get a little extra money, what's the first thing we think of? The stock market, right? But according to financial experts, especially when you're just starting out, that might not be your best move. Well, check out these numbers based on expert analysis. Let's say you've got $7,000 to invest. You put it in the stock market, maybe you make a couple $1,000 over 3 years. Not bad. But what if you invested that same $7,000 in yourself, in a skill, a sales course, a coding boot camp, whatever? That bumps your annual income by just $10,000. Over that same 3 years, your return is a staggering $30,000. It's not even in the same ballpark. So what's the real lesson here? It's simple. Your absolute best financial asset isn't a stock or a bond. It's you. It's your own ability to earn money. If you're not making a high income yet, your main problem isn't where to invest your savings. It's that you don't have enough income to begin with. You have to solve the income problem first. All right, so we've talked about the mindset, the key, the engine, and the fuel. Let's put it all together now and look at the whole operating system, from start to finish. And this is it. This is the entire playbook, step by step. First, you solve the income problem by investing in yourself and your skills. Second, you create the legal structure, the LLC, to protect yourself and unlock all the good stuff. Third, you funnel that high income into cash flowing assets that also create those amazing paper losses. Fourth, you use those paper losses to crush your tax bill. And fifth, you take all that money you just saved on taxes and you use it to buy more assets. See how that works? It's a powerful wealth building loop that just keeps feeding itself. So at the end of the day, these are the core rules of the game. You gotta see the tax code as a map. You use a business as your vehicle. You learn to love paper losses. You focus on your own income first. And then you just create that cycle. Earn, invest, save on taxes, and repeat. And all of this brings us to one final kind of mind-blowing question. None of this is some hidden secret or a sneaky loophole. It is all written down plain as day in the tax code for anybody who wants to read it. So the real question is, if this is the established playbook, why aren't we all learning this in school?